Hi everybody, this is Elizabeth and Leo with Tiny House Prepper. We've had a lot of people wondering what it's like living in a really small place with a cat. And he stays inside all the time, and wondering how that goes as far as the cat box, and we've had people expressing some interest in him, so we thought we'd share just a little bit about him today.
Tiny House Prepper.
Leo decided he had other things to do, but we've actually found that we're just not running into problems with smell or anything like that with having him here. We'll be talking pretty soon here about how we have the system set up to take care of the cat box and things like that, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Leo himself first. We have had many pets through the years. I homeschooled the kids quite a bit of the time, and we had so many different pets that for a while down in Virginia, we were one of the destinations for people to, for homeschool groups to take the kids to, just to see all the different animals. So we've had many of them, and after the kids were completely grown and off on their own, and our last cat was gone, and our dog was 17 and a half, and she finally died, and the last fish died. We just weren't going to be probably doing pets too much anymore. So if we wanted to try to travel or whatever, we'd be able to do that. And so we pretty much felt like we were feeling very fulfilled as far as pets. And then in 2012, middle of the year, in July, I had the stroke, and I had been, working full time and very busy. And then it just turned out my whole life changed, and I just wasn't going to be out of the house as much anymore. And a lot of things, changed. And so I got to know this lady that was where I went to get my cane, and it was just back here, just to get some of the stuff I needed right by the doctor's office. And she was just really an avid animal lover. And so she was telling me one day about some mama cat that had been kind of dumped off on the side of the road, and they had found the kittens, and the mom was going pretty feral, but she'd had a batch of kittens, and they'd been able to rescue at least some of them, and were looking for homes for them. And she said, yeah, she had, little Maine Coon kittens, and oh my goodness, I love Maine Coons. Bill's mom used to show cats. And I remember the first time I just went with her for fun to one of the shows, and they had these Maine Coons there, and they were the biggest, most magnificent cats I had ever seen in my life. Absolutely gorgeous. And so when I found out that it was a Maine Coon kitten, I was like, oh my goodness. So I thought about it, and I would never have been able to handle a puppy. It took me quite a while to really be walking again, but a cat, So anyway, we had decided we weren't going to be doing pets anymore, but I went ahead and just, mentioned to Bill that this friend had a Maine Coon kitten. And so we decided it wasn't a good idea. So a few days later, I got, I just kind of talked to her, because I'd go by and say hi to her when I go to physical therapy. So I would say hi to her. And anyway, after I'd mentioned him a few times, this stuff, finally Bill said, you know what? He said, why don't you get the kitten? And I think in a lot of ways, it was just very therapeutic for me. But anyway, so I ended up with this gorgeous little Maine Coon kitten, and brought him home and everything. And oh, what incredibly good company for me. I just totally enjoyed his company. And he started growing, and he's not full-bred Maine Coon. His mama was the one that was on the side of the road, was a full-bred Maine Coon, but he's not purebred, and they are the largest cat breed, and they call them gentle giants. Bill found a book all about Maine Coons for me when we got him, and I read up a lot of stuff on them, and very gentle-natured, and they even have like an M on their forehead. It's pretty cool. Thick fur, very big feet, hefty, strong cats. And so anyway, he has a brother who probably looks like the father. He looks like a tabby. We found a home for him. Looks like a tabby, but he's about 24 pounds or something like that. So he got the big size, but he doesn't look like the Maine Coon. Whereas Leo is kind of ended up being my mini Maine Coon. You can tell just by seeing him he's a big cat. But he's like 15.5 pounds now, and that's a pretty good size for a cat. But he could be 24 pounds, 25 pounds if he was one really full-blown Maine Coon. So I laugh, I didn't know I was, at that point, right when I got him, I didn't know he'd be ending up in our very small place. So I laugh and say that, God got me a tiny Maine Coon for my tiny house. All 15.5 pounds of my tiny cat. So, but he has just been tremendous company and a lot of fun. And we've decided just to keep him as an indoor kitty. I had a really beloved cat get hit by a car, and he was real streetwise, but somebody was speeding. And that was really hard, and he was like 13 years old. And also, we have coyotes around here, and I just don't think I want my cat to be lunch. So he's very happy just staying indoors here with us. He's been very happy and living in this really small place. He runs around and jumps up and off and on the bed, and at night he does touch and goes. When I'm having trouble going to sleep, I'm very aware of it. He doesn't keep me up, but I'm already awake. He'll jump up on the high bed, and it's high, and he goes around and he walks across us, and then he walks kind of across my head and shoulders, and he jumps off and goes out and hangs out in the living room. Then he comes back and jumps on the bed and does another touch and go. We were military, and so I know what touch and goes are with the planes. And so, but he gets plenty of exercise in here. And one thing I've really appreciated, he's a big, strong cat, and we'll get playing and be ruffling around on him and stuff. And with the psoriasis, my skin just, it gets cut and bumped and shredded really easily on my hands. And then I'm on a blood thinner, so then when that does happen, they really bruise and bleed and all that stuff. And I can play with that cat and wrestle all around and rub his tummy, and he chews on me, and he doesn't even scratch, let alone break the skin. He has never, ever hurt me. He's so careful with his teeth when we're playing. And I just have really appreciated that. So anyway, he has been a lot of fun. And he's, see, I had the stroke in 2012. He was born just about the same time I had the stroke in July of 2012. So, now we're into February of 2017. And, Maine Coons can actually grow for 5 years. So maybe he'll even get a little bit bigger. We'll have to see. But anyway, that's a little bit of a story about my cat. I love his big green eyes. I have to brush him a lot. He shares his hair quite nicely with everybody. He is very diligent to make sure that if he's going to cough up a hairball, that he makes sure he doesn't do it like on the kitchen. It's got to be on a rug. He's very careful about that, but I think most cats are. Maybe they think it's grass or something. I don't know. But, generally, he's got some real quirks. Most cats, you can put foil down where you don't want them to go because they hate the feel of the foil, and they'll stay away from that area because they just hate how that feels to them. No, my cat likes to chew on foil. He chewed on the fireplace irons, the wrought iron fireplace things. I put foil on one place I wanted him to keep off of after somebody told me about it and caught him chewing on it. When I'm brushing him, I have to pull the hair out of the brush pretty frequently because it makes him so happy to get to chew on the metal bristles. He has very healthy gums, teeth. He just doesn't seem to mind chewing on metal, so that's one of his little quirks. When he was younger, he used to love to tip everything over that he could possibly find. So I was having some lucky charms one day, and he made my carpet all magically delicious with all the little marshmallows dumped on the floor. but really, he's amazing. Of course, he's settled a lot. He's not a kitten anymore. But he's amazingly easy company in this really small place. And doesn't mess things up, and he's a lot of fun. And so I appreciate being able to have him. So anyway, that's a little bit about, probably more than I needed to let you know, but a little bit about him. And we'll show you how we do have the cat box set up. And it has not been a problem. So, alrighty. Okay, here we are in the kitchen, and this is my beautiful big little kitchen. And this area right here, Bill actually lowered for me to like a table height, and it makes a really good work area. for things in the kitchen, or sometimes just to sit and have a little breakfast or something in here. We have the one chair here, and we just thought and thought, you know, I had to plan everything that I put into this little house so that it would be, we could fit in everything we needed. And so we've had this cat box that works well for him, and so it's actually shoved right under there, kind of underneath the toaster, underneath there, and that's where I've got my litter and everything kind of tucked out of the way. So I'll show you. So if we look down in here, it's got a domed lid on it, and I don't do fancy stuff with it. I just keep it scooped out. Behind there, I have his litter scoop, and what I do is the bag that it's in, I always check to make sure there's no holes in it, just a basic grocery bag like you get all the time. And I take that bag and I'll use that to scoop it out and just throw the stuff in the bag to get rid of it. And then I take the fresh bag every single time and wrap the scoop, put it into the fresh bag. And then of course you have to just wash the scoop every so often. It's not that big a deal, just to make sure you keep it clean. And this happens to be the kind of litter that has worked well for me. Like I said, I found I really want it unscented. So, yep, all I have to do is kind of keep that, you know, scooped out. And I don't have any funny smells from the litter. And I haven't had problems with smells in here. It's right in our kitchen, and there's just no detectable smell at all. So, anyway, it has worked well, and he seems to use it real well. And so, yeah, it has worked out fine. So anyway, we wanted to say goodbye. See our great big Maine Coon feet? They got the biggest feet. Big bones and frames. Alrighty, we just want to talk to you about the cat a little bit and tell you how it's all worked out. And so we'll say goodbye for now. Alright, love you guys. Thanks. Okay, bye-bye. He's watching very intently.